to have a look at the shotgun tree, and what we've agreed is that you're going to play as a sort of dual pistol kind of gun mage, but I don't see that as a serious problem. Shotgun is an approximation, I would say. That's the best approximation for what sort of thing you're talking about.
They both use two hands, so at that point, you can do it as flavor.
And you can put both guns together and fire them to make a big shot. It's fine.
It works.
So, with every tree, what you do is you start right in the middle. There's a big box that says the name of the weapon, so in this case, shotgun. And what happens is you'll start with all of the levels in the things that it says. So you'll start with 2 strength. Yep.
And that is counting the already filled-in bubbles on those on the traits abilities, whatever they're called in this, right?
Yeah. Okay. So they're called attributes on the left-hand side there. And where they're filled in already, you include that in the count. So you'll go up to 2 strength, 3 stamina, 2 dexterity, 3 wits, and 2 luck. And all of the rest are at 1. So you've got 1 intelligence, 1 charisma. Let me see if I can get this right from memory. 1 willpower, and that's it.
Okay. And then for my skills type stuff, I get 2 investigation, 1 melee, 1 survival, and 3 gunnery.
Yeah. And those are the things you all start with just by nature of being a shotgun guy.
Cool. And now we diverge into the rest of the tree a bit.
Yeah. Now's the fun bit. So what you get to do next is you get to pick 10 branches that you want to move along. And what you'll notice, if you look at the tree, is that there are a variety of options. So on the right-hand side, it's kind of explosives. Sort of you can make like explosive shots with what you're doing. You can even learn to like do a limit break satellite strike, where like just this random satellite just shoots the thing because Final Fantasy. And on the left-hand side, we've got kind of the faster shots. We've got a bit more gunnery skill. We've got a bit of larceny in there, a bit of stamina. And finally, at the bottom, what we've got is we've got the kind of the finesse. We've got the cool shots. We've got the aimed shot. You take your time, you gain the number of, increased accuracy. That kind of stuff. So you can go into all of them. So anything which is converted to used, you can then branch out from there. So you could branch out in all 3 directions a little bit. You could go heavily into one area. It's totally up to you.
So, couple questions, just looking at it. Mm-hmm. First of all, some of the joiners between them have a number associated with them. Is that the number that it takes to make that bridge?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. So some of these are more expensive than others.
Indeed. And yeah, so you're already at 3 gunnery, so getting a 4th gunnery is actually quite expensive.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's an opening bridge that takes 3 cost in there. So on the right tree, we talked about explosives, and there's the limit break for explosive ammo. Is there any other way in there to make your ammo explode, or is it only at that low health kind of thing?
So that is the only way to make your ammo explosive ammo.
Okay.
However, you are a gun mage, so there is no reason why your mage cannot cast fire on your weapon, at which point you then fire, and you have effectively explosive rounds.
That's a cool concept. Okay, workhorse, which I'm not certain which tree that was on now.
So workhorse.
It's on the right tree.
Gives you an increased encumbrance, so you can carry more equipment if you want to.
And so I see that from workhorse you can actually get all the way over to the left tree, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I think I'm going to start on the right tree, grab +1 survival, the +1 willpower continuing to the right, spend 2 points to get workhorse, that's 4, and I kind of think that as that military guy, having that increased load is, he has to pack a lot.
And you can load up on armor and
to
other
carry
things.
them.
So you have possible directions there.
So that's going to blow 4 of my points to get all the way over to Workhorse. What does Wits do in this?
So there is no link between any attribute and any skill.
Okay.
And I would say that there is, more often than not, I will say Wits and Gunnery. I wouldn't always say that, but I will often say that. I don't generally consider Gunnery a dexterity skill.
Okay. Well, that just increases my desire for the Wits, which I was planning on making that jump over to the left tree for that +1 Wits so that I can get to that +1 Gunnery.
Yep.
Which will take me another 2 points. So at that point, I am down 6. I've got 4 points left. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's grab the fast guns from the left tree.
So
and then we're going to jump.
Is a specialty that goes in the specialty box.
Okay. So I'm going to jump back over to the right tree. And so the first one on that is survival. I'm going to go down to get the willpower, explosives, and then blast kill, which works like silent killer.
Yeah.
And that would be all of them.
That would be all of your points.
And I was super tempted to get the explosive ammo, but that was kind of expensive, and I really like that bonus gunnery that I could get by jumping to the far tree as well as Workhorse.
So that's one of the fun things about the trees, because depending on what you want to do, you really do have a lot of breadth of choices. And the other thing that's worth bearing in mind is leveling up is actually fairly frequent. You'll run into crystals quite a lot. So, there's a lot of choices to be able to then grow that out. It's worth mentioning, I don't think it'll come up in our one-shot, but it's worth mentioning that in order to get another entire tree, you just have to spend 30 crystals. So if you decided you wanted to be a shotgun guy or a pistols guy and also have a two-handed sword, you can do that. You just have to spend 30 crystals. So there's a technical tree and there's a social tree. And the social tree actually works for both ethereals and corporeals because they get social skills as well. And the technical tree only is for corporeals because it involves interacting with the world. So in each of these trees, you only get 4 points.
Okay, so it's not the same points that I'm looking at on my shotgun tree.
No, you get 10 on the shotgun tree, you get 4 on the technical trees, you get 4 on the social trees.
So corporeals will end up with more than ethereals. Because
corporeals will end up with more points than ethereals because they are expected to do a wider range of tasks.
Okay.
And when you get to leveling, the crystals, they go into any of the 3 trees?
Yeah, wherever you want them to go,
Gotcha.
You just put the crystals there. So if you, for example, decided you're going to be an ace engineer, right? On the tree, there's engineering 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you need to spend 3 crystals to get the specialist. You can't get that at character creation. You absolutely can later, and while someone else might be leveling their weaponry or their magic.
Awesome.
If you don't have a skill, the personal, technical, or interaction, is there a penalty, or is it just that you're only rolling the statistic that goes with it?
So there is a penalty. What you'll do is you roll the attribute and luck. Luck is your unskilled skill. However, your threshold is increased usually by +3. So where it would normally be a 7, you've got to roll 10.
I don't suppose dice explode in this game.
Dice do explode in this game.
Oh, cool.
Yes. I love exploding dice.
Now I need to play more Era.
Alright, I can't afford it, but I have to know, what is the specialist?
So the specialist, what it does is it gives you the opportunity to choose an area of engineering that is your specialty, right? So you will go, I am a specialist at building walls. Okay, cool. You now have double dice whenever you're building a wall.
Okay.
Flat double whatever you'd normally be rolling.
Alright. Earlier, I asked you a question about alchemists.
Yes.
But I don't see a technical skill or any other skills that make me think alchemy. And you said that you were going with thrown for their weapon. Is it just built into their tree?
It's built
that
into
kind of stuff?
Tree. Yeah.
Awesome.
So things like Riku in Final Fantasy X, she had the mixed skill. Things like that are what go in the throne tree.
All right, so I think that I'm going to go with 3 up in engineering. I will do 1 in medicine. That I'm not the medic, but with my history, I've dealt with needing to fix people up. Since I'm looking at being a crotchety, grumpy kind of person, definitely not seduction. I'm going to go with intimidation. What is esteem?
So esteem. So there are basically all of these skills have their own different way of working. So commercial covers both commercial knowledge and also bribery, right? So it covers that interaction. Oh, just look the other way this time. Esteem covers you are known. People know who you are, and you can convince them on that basis. And it's unique among the social skills that you can use to convince people, because instruction you can't, in that it's not an opposed role. Every other social skill is an opposed role. If your esteem is with the right faction, and, if you were to take esteem, I would say, yeah, absolutely, you're going to have some esteem with Stardust, because you're a retired Stardust guy. Instruction allows you to transfer skills to another character. Intimidation, persuasion, and seduction are all pretty obvious.
All right, so I'm going to go with 2 intimidation and 2 esteem. That I'm known. I was effective during the war, and it's not something that I'm necessarily happy about, which probably leads to that grumpy nature that I see for the individual.
That becomes an interesting question. What is faker? For someone who goes up high in esteem.
In esteem, so I said that if you're the right kind of person with that faction, then they'll believe you. If you go high enough, you can fake it at a penalty. You can go, yeah, I'm definitely a Stardust officer. Yeah, do what I say because I'm a Stardust, and actually be convincing when you're doing it. If you would like to have some armor, you actually have a fairly high encumbrance, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so I've got 5, and then I've got Workhorse, which you said affected that.
Plus 50% rounded down.
So 7 encumbrance.
7. You, in your main weapon in the bottom left, you can write in that you obviously have your pistols. They are going to be encumbrance 2. That's the first little box there. The damage is going to be 5, and the kill is going to be 7. Just FYI for everyone, those are the standard stats that I give to a shotgun as well. I'm really just modeling this as a cosmetic difference.
Okay.
Because I don't think it needs to matter.
Yeah.
You can have some armor. You could maybe have you could have like an engineering kit, because you've got 3 engineering, so you could have an engineering kit to boost your engineering skill. Okay, so armor comes in 3 types. There's light armor, which doesn't restrict you a lot. As you get higher levels of armor, your dexterity is reduced because you have less maneuverability. So with light armor, you will have a maximum dexterity of 8 and a minimal bonus to kill modifier. So someone can kill you less easily. With medium armor, you'll have +1 damage, +2 kill, and you'll have a maximum dexterity of 4. And with heavy armor, you'll have +2 damage, +4 kill, and a maximum dexterity of 2.
So, since I'm at a dex of 2, heavy armor wouldn't be a bad thing to start with.
No, it's an encumbrance of 4. So it's an encumbrance of 4. It's not light. Yeah. But you absolutely can manage it. How do you see the character? It is 4 if you're 7 encumbrance.
Which pistols are 2, which only will leave me 1, which depends on how much basically my kit that's primarily to tool around with my pistols would take.
I would let you have a basic engineering kit that we give you +1 on all engineering rolls, where unless it's a knowledge roll or something, for 1 encumbrance.
Sounds great. Thank you much for the answers. I'm loving filling this sheet out.
You're very welcome indeed.